is baby Moses with his mother and sister Miriam. They are hiding Moses from Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, who wants to get rid of all the Hebrew baby boys. And this is Pharaoh's daughter, the princess. Let's see how God is at work in the story of baby Moses.
Hoo-dee-ha! Hoo-dee-ha! Hoo-dee-ha!
Huh?
But this
Pharaoh thought there were too many Hebrews living in Egypt, so he outlawed all Hebrew baby boys.
Yeah?
Moses' family tried their best to keep him hidden.
Brains? Oh, no.
Moses had to be sent away, so the guards would not find him. Moses' mother had to trust God. The princess liked little Moses so much. She wanted to keep him. Miriam told the princess that her mother could help take care of the baby.
Aha, apa sa kamar Deborah?
And so Moses came to live in Pharaoh's palace. This is Moses, who ran away from Egypt and became a shepherd. And these are Moses' people, the Israelites, who were slaves in Egypt. And this is Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, who enslaved the Israelites. Let's see how God is at work in the story of crossing the Red Sea.
Komen. Kom maar no, maar de niet meer komen. Kijk, maar grote vrouw.
God told Moses to free the Israelites from slavery and lead them out of Egypt. Moses told Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. But Pharaoh said no. God said bad things would happen to Egypt until the Israelites were free. God turned the Nile River to blood.
Wat?
But Pharaoh still said no. So God sent many more plagues. But Pharaoh still said no. So God sent one more plague. That night, the firstborn son of every Egyptian died. But the Israelite houses that had lamb's blood over their doors were safe.
No.
After losing his own son, Pharaoh finally let the Israelites go. Chased the Israelites all the way to the Red Sea. The Israelites were trapped. But then God parted the water. The water again, destroying Pharaoh's army. God's people were finally free. This is Moses and his people, the Israelites. They had fled from Egypt and were now led by God to Mount Sinai. Let's see how God is at work in the story of the 10 Commandments. God called Moses to the top of Mount Sinai.
Go back.
God gave Moses stone tablets with 10 laws written on them.
Ta-da!
One of the laws said not to worship idols.
Ibama.
Cuida.
Another law said that children should not dishonor their parents.
Cuida.
And another law said not to steal.
Gro e mormode. No. Shh.
When Moses came down from the mountain, he saw that the Israelites really needed God's laws. The 10 Commandments were a gift to help God's people. This is Deborah, who was chosen by God to lead the Israelites. And this is Barak and the Israelite army. And this is Sisera and his Canaanite army, who are enemies of the Israelites. Let's see how God is at work in the story of brave Deborah. Sisera had been attacking the Israelites for years.
Aha! Apa siya baga?
Deborah went to get Barak to lead the Israelites against the Canaanite army.
Baga! Baga! Baga!
Oh. Hey, paddock.
Hazri kazi hayi! Baga! Yabasiwi hazri! Baga! Ga!
Derek said he would go and fight, but only if Deborah came too.
Bye.
No! Hop!
I go. Yo! Ha! Baga! Eoya! Hi, hi, ho! Hey, ho! Cha!
With God on their side, the Israelite army was stronger than the Canaanites. Sisera was so scared, he ran away.
Hey.
Deborah had saved God's people. This is Naomi with her husband and sons. They live in Judah. And this is Ruth and Orpah. who live in the land of Moab. Let's see how God is at work in the story of Naomi and Ruth.
Huh?
Come on, Ruth!
What?
What the hoop's your hair? Oh, that's a moving parade. Whoa.
When a terrible famine came to Judah, Naomi and her family decided to move to Moab. Naomi's sons married women from Moab named Ruth and Orpah.
Yes,
After Naomi's husband and sons died, she decided to return to her homeland.
Ragni. Ragni.
Naomi told Ruth and Orpah to stay in Moab and find new husbands. Orpah decided to stay in Moab. But Ruth refused to leave Naomi.
Park. Orn. Park. Spagat. Park. Swakaba. Akaba. And so Naomi and Ruth came to live in the land of Judah together.